Alright, so I'm about to go do something that I've said many times I wouldn't do again. I'm gonna go trade my 1955 Champ for a different amp. I hope I don't regret it. Alright, so I just made the trade and here it is. It's a 1951 Deluxe. So really excited to get this thing home and see how it plays. Okay, so this is a 1951 5A3 Fender Deluxe. What it is, it's an early iteration of the now legendary 1950s Tweed era Fender Deluxe. It's one of the truly great amp designs of all time. I am a guitar nerd, and if you're still watching this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's maybe a small chance that you might be as well. And as a guitar nerd, there's something that I'm very familiar with. It's known as gear acquisition syndrome, right? If you're not familiar, what that is the tendency of musicians to want to constantly swap out equipment and try new things. It could be guitar pedals, guitars, amps, speakers, tubes, magic, fairy dust diodes, you name it, we will tinker with it. I definitely fell into that a lot more when I was younger, and I think part of what that is just trying to find your sound as a newer guitar player. You have to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and one of the main ways that I would do that was through trading. So I actually acquired that Champ through an amp trade a long time ago. But what I started to find is as I would make some of these trades, after the, for lack of a better word, the honeymoon phase with whatever new piece of gear that I got in the trade wore off, I found myself still to this day, in some cases, missing some of the things that I traded for those things. So I told myself a few years ago that I wasn't gonna really trade anything anymore, and especially not some of the older gear that I have. But that all changed last week when this thing popped up on Craigslist locally, and specifically I noticed that the other party was looking for a Tweed Champ. And so I reached out and we made a deal, and as you can see, it worked out because it's sitting right here behind me. And I probably will miss that Champ. I mean, I know I will from time to time. It was a great little amp, but I've always wanted a Deluxe, and I gotta tell you, ever since I plugged into it, since I've been home, I have not stopped smiling. It sounds incredible. So I don't think I made a mistake. In fact, it kind of reminded me that experimenting with your sound is not a bad thing. Like, it can be fun and it can be inspiring. So I don't think it was a bad idea. And also, I always love to think about, like, the fact that I traded a different amp for that Champ when I was living in Michigan. And then when I moved out to the Northwest, I brought it with me. And now it's probably going to make its rounds out here and other players are going to get to experience, and that's really cool. And I think about that too with this Deluxe, like how many rooms has this thing played? Who's played through it? You know, where has it been? These really are little pieces of history, and it's not lost on me that I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to play through them. And that's part of why I like to make these videos, to share it with you guys. So you can definitely expect to see some more videos coming out with this amp in it in the near future. So tell me what you think. Was it a mistake? And I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.